Shalom saudara-saudara, berjumpa kembali bersama dengan saya dalam kasihnya di channel TV Kabar Baik. Apa kabar kita semua? Saya berdoa kabar kita baik-baik saja. Dan apapun menjadi aktivitas kita sepanjang hari ini, kiranya Tuhan memberkati kita dengan melimpah-limpah. Saudara, pada hari ini saya mau bagikan bagi kita video cuplikan bagaimana ada seorang pemimpin Hamas, ya, dia mempunyai seorang putra, ya, dan putranya ini rupanya sudah murtad, ya, dan percaya kepada Yesus Kristus. Dari mana saya tahu? Pernah saya tonton juga di cuplikan, yaitu video JDP channel, ya saudara. Dan di sini juga kita akan melihat bagaimana akhir dari katanya, dia berkata Tuhan berkati, artinya dia sudah percaya Tuhan Yesus Kristus. Saudara, kita simak dulu cuplikan berikut ini.
Thank you very much. Wow, great energy. Thank you very much for having me. It's a great privilege. The Jerusalem Post annual conference. The first time I got to know about the newspaper was in prison about 20 years ago. First, I wanted to learn English. And this is why I started to read the Jerusalem Post. But eventually, it became my window towards the Jewish world and towards the Western world as well. 16 months in Israeli prison, reading almost every day. So I have some connection to the Jerusalem Post somehow. I don't know where to start, but you can use your imagination of the son of a top Hamas leader, and what in the world is he doing at the Jerusalem Post annual conference? They gave me a tag. I don't wear it right now, but they had on it the son of Hamas. And I went through security all the way to the backstage. You gotta trust them, guys. Okay, back to the story. It's very hard, you know, to encapsulate a human journey, a human evolution in any form of language. Rather than English is not my mother tongue, but I try as much as I can. Truth at those heights cannot be conveyed in any form, actually. Not a movie, not a book, not a speech. We cannot reduce ourselves to words that cannot defend themselves. And somebody is going to take this speech, take it out of the context, and serve maybe some Palestinian agenda, eventually. This is how it works. People don't see things for what they are. But I'm sure that some of you, at least, will understand where I'm coming from. So today, if I speak with the authority of experience. It's not from the books. It's not a second-hand knowledge that I got from somebody. I don't represent government or politicians. I represent myself. I am an individual. I am not an organization. And I don't like to take sides, because I don't belong to nations. I don't belong to the crowd. I have transcended this long time ago. But the Jewish nation is dear to me. And when I see nations unifying against the Jewish people, it hurts me. Because at some point, I thought the Jewish people were the enemies of humanity. I thought that they were the enemies of our people, the Palestinian people, until I came to experience what the Jewish nation really is through intelligence service, through witnessing the true democratic model in an ocean of darkness, the only light in the Middle East. And I wonder, people here in the free world who think that they are free, unifying against Israel, attacking Israel, isolating Israel, boycotting Israel, BDS and all this hypocrisy. Of course, hypocrisy coming together with political correctness, because it's the same. Two faces for the same coin. In the Muslim society, I witnessed a woman who sent 5 of her children to die in suicide bombing attacks, one after another. She would put this explosive belt on them and bless them and say, "Go kill the Jews," to gain respect in her society. This is hypocrisy. My father disowned me because he's a hypocrite. On a personal level, he's a loving father. But when he puts the Hamas mask that he cannot exist without, he's a monster, he's something else. And this is the problem with that society conditioning. That if you take individuals on the side, they're just human beings like us. Any of us could have or have been brought in that environment, would be conditioned in the same way. The human condition does not differentiate between an Arab or a Jewish person. But the collective mind of the society is representing something. Is representing an ideology, a culture, a state of consciousness that calibrates in darkness, that calibrates in the 7th and 6th centuries. Ruled by tribal lust for power. It have not changed, or it has not changed. Muhammad, and I know that I've been told by people here not to say this, so it does not look like the Jews are going against the Muslims. But we cannot fool ourselves. There is an Islamic problem. Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, ISIS, Boko Haram, all of them are killing by the name of Allah. They're not killing by the name of Jesus. They're not killing by the name of Jehovah. They're not killing by the name of Mahavira or the Buddha or Lao Tzu. They're killing by the name of Allah. There is an Islamic problem, and I think humanity needs to stand against this danger, because this danger is not only against the state of Israel. This danger, thank you. This danger is against the evolvement of mankind. Political correctness. I don't know if there is any CNN reporters or representatives here tonight. You know, political correctness, when my friend invited me to his wedding and he asked me to wear a tuxedo, and I thought it was a Speedo for a second. There is a big difference, right? That would have been politically incorrect. But when it comes to matters, universal issues, when we see waves of violence and darkness taking over and spreading, and we choose to stick our head in the sand with the name of political correctness, the truth is that we are afraid. And we are trying not to provoke them more. We are trying not to create a religious war. But there has been a religious war, whether you like it or not. The better way is to face it, to grow up, and face it with courage. This is what I say. The problem is not in the individual. We are not against the Muslim people. I cannot be against my mother and my father and my people. They're just people. And there are idiots everywhere in every nation. I'm talking about the collective consciousness of nations, of regions, and the cosmic consciousness of all humanity. The Muslim people have a problem, and their problem is in their belief system. They have to face it, and we need to encourage them to fight the good fight, as I did. If I was able, you know, I had privileges as the son of a top Hamas leader. I had something to lose. But the average Muslim person don't have lots of things to lose. They're already living in darkness and misery. If they leave it, it's better for them. When I left, I did not leave misery. I left privilege. I left position. I was paid. I was protected. Everybody wanted me to stay wearing the mask. I am a living example and a challenge, and I will continue to be, to every individual who lives in the Muslim world, that this is the time to grow up, to destroy the walls, and to transcend the conditioning of the society. This is the only way. But to tell them, no, Islam is a religion of peace, we just create the perfect climate for terrorists to keep on growing. I say otherwise. Our problem is not with the individual, our problem is with this belief system. That humanity and the free world need to unify, as eventually, even though it was too late, the world unified against Nazism. Today, free people need to unify against Islam, not against the Muslim people, against Islam itself as a belief system. When the president of the free world stands and say, that Islam is a religion of peace, he creates the climate, he provides the climate, the perfect climate to create more terrorism. I love Israel. I love what Israel stands for, its ethics, its values, its democracy, its love. A nation that was able to overcome the Holocaust, and instead of playing the victim mentality and blame everyone for their suffering, they were able to build a state, a democratic state, make it from a newborn state to an advanced and completely developed state in less than 25 years. This is a great example. It has been a pleasure. I appreciate the love of the Jewish nation everywhere in the world. I don't care what they label me. Again, I speak with the authority of experience. If they have anything to say, they can say it right to my face. If they have the courage, but I doubt. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you. God bless Israel. Thank you very much.
Saudara-saudara, itulah dia video cuplikan, baru saja kita menyimak video cuplikannya. Bagaimana ketika kita menonton tadi video cuplikan, dia banyak bercerita tentang kepercayaannya sebelumnya. Ya. Bagaimana saudara, dia melihat bahwa begitu banyak kejahatan-kejahatan yang terjadi dalam kepercayaannya sebelumnya. Bagaimana dia melihat bahwa mereka itu membunuh, melakukan hal-hal yang jahat, yaitu dengan menyebut nama Allahnya. Padahal, saudara, kita sebagai orang-orang Kristen dan orang-orang percaya kepada Yesus Kristus, kita tidak pernah disuruh untuk membunuh seseorang dengan memakai nama Yesus atau dengan memakai nama Allah. Tidak pernah disuruh dan diajarkan oleh Alkitab kepada kita. Saudara, seturut perjalannya waktu, lalu dia sadar bahwa apa yang dilihatnya, apa yang dipercayainya, seperti bertolak belakang dalam dirinya. Dan itulah yang membuat dia percaya kepada Tuhan Yesus Kristus. Saudara, itulah Tuhan kita. Tuhan kita ini adalah Tuhan Allah yang hidup. Dia adalah Allah yang ada di mana-mana, saudara ya. Saya mau menyampaikan kepada kita juga suatu cerita di dalam Alkitab. Ini ceritanya ini hampir sama juga ya, saudara, dengan cerita-cerita yang disampaikan oleh putra daripada Hamas ini. Bagaimana ada seorang bernama Saulus. Saulus ini adalah punya kepercayaan. Dia adalah dari golongan Farisi, saudara ya. Lalu dia berusaha untuk membunuh, membinasakan jemaat Kristen pada waktu itu. Bahkan mau menjarakan mereka. Tetapi saudara, dia berpikir apa yang dilakukannya adalah kebaikan. Apa yang dilakukannya adalah kehendak Allah. Padahal tidak. Dari mana kita tahu itu bukan kehendak Allah? Ketika dalam perjalanannya menuju ke Damsyik untuk menangkap dan menganiaya orang-orang Kristen, dia mendengar suara dari surga. Dan dia melihat cahaya yang begitu terang yang berkata kepadanya, Saulus, Saulus, kenapa engkau menganiaya aku? Saulus bertanya, siapa engkau? Yesus berkata, akulah Yesus yang engkau aniaya itu. Apa yang terjadi? Saulus mengalami pertobatan. 3 hari 3 malam tidak makan dan tidak bisa melihat. Dan setelah itu dia bisa melihat ketika dia didoakan oleh seorang hamba Tuhan. Dan dari situlah Saulus menyadari perbuatannya salah. Perbuatannya bukanlah kehendak Tuhan. Dan dia memilih menjadi percaya Yesus Kristus dan menjadi pemberita Injil. Sehingga suratnya di dalam Alkitab saat ini ada 1/4 daripada Alkitab adalah tulisan tangan daripada Rasul Paulus. Namanya yang Saulus diubah menjadi Paulus. Inilah yang sedang terjadi juga saat ini di dunia ini. Mereka pikir kejahatan mereka perbuat adalah kehendak Allah, padahal tidak. Mati, bom bunuh diri, mereka pikir itu kehendak Allah, padahal tidak. Mereka berbuat jahat, mereka membunuh dengan memakai nama Allahnya. Mereka pikir berbuat itu kehendak Allah, padahal tidak. Saudara, mari kita membedakan mana kehendak Allah, mana yang bukan kehendak Allah. Mana yang berkenan kepada Allah, bahkan mana yang sempurna. Mari kita mengetahui hal itu. Kiranya lewat video ini kita diberkati. Tuhan memberkati kita semua. Shalom.